fun, AFC Finners. We've come on a long away trip to South East London / Kent. It was Tomaldo's birthday yesterday, so we are wishing him a very happy birthday yesterday. What did I get you, Tom?
Wallace and Gromit tea.
Yeah, Ferris my
Happy birthday,
tea.
Tom.
Also got a lemon drizzle cake and some Malibu. His dad Ash just very kindly taken us on this very long journey. It was long and windy roads, but we got here in the end. Luciano's here having our breakfast in Athletic Club Bromley. Lovely cappuccino. It should be a fun day. End of Cheltenham season. We've all got our own Cheltenham kits. This is one mud flat mat kindly got me. Thank you, my good friend. Hope you're having fun in Arizona. Let's wander around. There we go. Mushrooms on toast. Look at that. Luke's got his egg bap. Let's see. Yeah, so nice farm fields, horses and goats. And there's the ground showing under lunchtime kickoffs. What a lovely day for it. Not heard of this ale before. It looks nice. Behind prison, everyone's having fun. And so, we're about to go inside, but before we do, let's find out a bit about today's hosts, Bromley. Bromley FC were founded in 1892, starting off in the South London League, and are a founding member of the Southern League 2 years later. They went between the London and Kent leagues over the next 2 years, and then on to the Spartan and Isthmian League, winning titles of the latter in 1909 and 1910. They then won the FA Amateur Cup, and on the other side of World War I, won the Athenian League in 1923. They continued winning leagues and cups throughout the next few decades and moved to their current home of Hayes Lane in 1938. They went between various divisions, and the 2000s saw them go higher than ever before as they defeated Bromley-Hayes Town in the playoff final in 2007 to reach the Conference South. They won the Conference South in 2015 and they reached the final of the FA Trophy 3 years later but lost to Bromley Town on penalties. 4 years later, they redeemed themselves, defeating Wrexham 1-0 to win the trophy for the first time. 2 years on, things got even better, with them defeating Solihull Moors on penalties at Wembley in the playoff final to become a Football League club for the first time. A solid season has shown they're not just there to make up the numbers, and they hope to be part of the Football League for many years to come. Overall, they've won 1 Spartan League, 3 Athenian Leagues, 4 Isthmian Leagues, 1 National League South title, and 1 FA Trophy. And a bit of trivia, Bromley set their attendance record in 1948 when the Nigerian national team played against Bromley at Hayes Lane, a match that brought in over 10,000 spectators. So those are our hosts, Bromley. Let's have a look inside their home, Hayes Lane. Yeah then, sunny day. Here we go. Let's do this. I'm in a fever dream. We'd like to send our congratulations to Luciano. His beloved Leeds just won the championship. He's a very happy boy.
What a day.
Tom's birthday, Luke's team winning the league. Life is good. Bromley get a penalty, wrestled down to the floor in the box. Could be a chance for them to take lead on the final day. At least the one will be a 0-0. It's a lovely sunny day. Is it a day for Joe Day to save a penalty? Here we go. Bromley leads, penalty was nearly saved. But it is the home side that begins to party.
Second goal for Bromley, scored by number 26, Nicky Kabema!
Just for half time, there was a scramble in the box, it's been poked in, and maybe Bromley will be finishing their first season in the Football League on a high.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the half-time score at the Copperjacks Community Stadium, Bromley 2, Cheltenham Town 0.
So half time, Luke's got caught up in the endless queue, but half time 2-0. What do you think so far, Tomaldo?
Can I swear?
Of course you can.
Shit.
Shit indeed. Half time 2-0, Spado Ballet. Goal! The cheek of it. They played a short corner, it was swung across the box, deflected, and Cheek has got a touch and put in. The third goal will seal the 3 points. 3-0 Bromley, signing off in style indeed in the first league season. 3-0. Having fun? At least you enjoyed your Malibu yesterday. They're not actually going to make a picture. So that's Bromley. It's been a fun day. Shame about the result for Cheltenham, but I guess it's more about spending time with friends and everything else. But you've had a fun day in the sun, the end of an EFL season. Congratulations to Bromley. Good to see that you're not just there to make up the numbers. Hopefully you can push on and do even better in your second season in the EFL. You all right?
The real 3 points for the friends we made along the way.
Hey! Beautiful stuff. But wrapping up the EFL season, we now head to non-league Aldershot on Bank Holiday Monday. Congratulations to Luke's beloved Leeds on the championship. Let's hope you win it again in 2 years when you're back. Tomaldo,
Hello.
thank you for organising this, and a belated happy birthday once again to you. Glad you enjoyed your Feathers McGraw tea. Ash, where are you? Thank you for the drive.
You're welcome.
You got enjoy your Bakare shirt.
Want a walkout?
He sponsors Ibrahim Bakare. He's meant to get a shirt as a result of it, and Bakare
She just gave it to an old lady in the crowd. I'm not annoyed at all. I'm absolutely fine. I'm fine. It's all
okay,
fine.
Ash, it's
I'm
okay.
totally fine. It's fine.
We'll get you a pint.
I'm fine.
Or get you a pint of Coke then. After that, all that's left to do is race the experience. So we will start off with the welcome, and it's a shame it started off quite well. Like when we got outside the ground, stewards are quite friendly. There was this cafe we wanted to go to, and the steward told us how to get there, gave us directions, which is much appreciated. Another steward kindly took a photo of us when we asked him to. So it started off quite well outside the ground, but when we got inside, it kind of did a bit of a 180. Like, it was a bit frustrating when you have the water bottles confiscated on you, especially on such a hot day, and I'll go more into that on the food and drink bit. It just really was badly set up for away fans. Just that general section was so haphazard, just tiny, a massive squeeze, and half it was taken up by the big queue. It just really felt resentful towards away fans. Thankfully the stand itself was great, but you just had a tiny little corner, and I just felt, just have a bit more respect. It's like, I understand the stadium's a work in progress, but the area for away fans is really poor, and I felt there was a lot of quality around the stadium, but certainly not been put into that area. You could tell it was like a nice family experience, just the vibe you got from the home fans. And when we went to a cafe, there was a Bromley fan who saw us in our Cheltenham shirts and asked about the club. So it's nice to be able to chat to fans, so definitely positive there. But some of the stewards I felt were quite jobs worthy as well. They confiscated an inflatable banana from the Cheltenham fans, and there just seemed to be one or two of them that just kept going up to Cheltenham fans every 5 seconds. They were just itching to find an excuse to tell people off. And there was one point where they were throwing around a beach ball, and there was like a steward who was about 20, and he just leapt to his feet at the opportunity to confiscate that. And it just felt like some of the stewards are just really power hungry, and it just put a bit of a sour note on the day. Now, I feel like they're definitely a nice club who want to engage with the local community, but I felt there was a lot of weaknesses in the welcome, and certain things that I'll go into on the other ratings about the stadium I didn't like. That felt as an experience it wasn't the best, and I don't think I'd go back, and it wouldn't be at the height of my recommendations to other people. So there were definitely nice people there, nice vibe, but the negative things really dragged it down. I just felt some of the stewarding was so over the top. Like, it's an inflatable banana, it's not going to kill anyone. It's a shame because it seemed really good from the outside, but as soon as you got in, it kind of took a bit of a nosedive. So I'll probably give the welcome a 3 out of 10. Food and drink, this is one of the big issues I had. I got into the ground, took my seat, and they took the water off me. You know, it was a really hot day, and I'm someone who carry water bottles with me everywhere because I get dehydrated very quickly. Like, I always need water on hand. We got to our seats, and so I decided to go and get some water, and it was a disgrace, to be honest. There was just a tiny shack in the corner, and I think it's the longest I've ever queued to get food at a football match. It must have been 30 minutes, 45, and it just didn't feel like it was moving at all. All I wanted was to get myself 2 bottles of water and a can of Coke for Tom, and we just stood there for absolutely ages. I've come on a 3-hour journey. I didn't come on a 3-hour journey to stand in a queue for ages. It was just really frustrating, just standing there in the hot sun just to get a bottle of water. I did get it eventually, but it was just so poorly organised there. And like, I could see there was like a chalkboard with a menu on the back. At least when they had run out of things, they crossed them out, so at least you didn't have to wait in a queue for half an hour to say, can I get this? And then they say, oh, you don't have it. But when I was getting served, they were saying to each other, oh, well, out of everything, I need to top up. And it just felt a bit like Salford City, where they've risen through the leagues, but the experience itself hasn't caught up. They don't have the standards of a Football League club. But I've been to Wembley, Old Trafford, the Emirates, Anfield, and other massive stadiums, and got served incredibly quickly. But I think the amount of time I was queuing was absolutely disgraceful. The options weren't too bad. It was nice that they'd sort of linked up with local breweries to do beer. Luke said he liked the one he got. They had pies there, and at least they had various options. So in terms of options and stuff, it was okay. But I kind of got into the ground, saw the massive queue, and was like, oh, sure, there'll be another spot you can get food from. No, there wasn't. There was just that tiny corner, tiny shack with 2 people very overworked. And again, you know, we've come all that way. It's a very difficult journey. Just treat away fans with a bit of respect. You know what I mean? There's definitely a lot of work to be done. Hopefully when they build the new stands, that'll improve. But in terms of options, definitely decent. But I think in terms of the way it's managed, was absolutely terrible. So I'll give the food and drink a 2 out of 10. Atmosphere, it wasn't necessarily too much to write home about, to be honest. I think it's one of those where, like, because they're recently Football League, they're sort of getting used to the standards of that. It's nice that it sold out, and they definitely backed the team well. Like, you know, you could see all the stands were full, and that was very nice, but they didn't chant too much. Definitely got behind the team. There's definitely a positive vibe in the stadium, but I think considering what a momentous day is to, you know, have a top half finish in your first ever season as a Football League side, I felt I would have heard a bit more singing, more of a stronger party atmosphere. Definitely positive vibes. I didn't hear too much singing, but hopefully if they continue to establish themselves in the Football League, their fan base will continue to grow. But I didn't think too much of the atmosphere, so I'll probably give it a 3 out of 10. Stadium, it's a strange one. Obviously, in terms of stand we were in, that was a brilliant stand. The seats are very comfy. You had lots of leg room, very good views, very well kept, modern and up to date. So can't complain too much about that. I think credit where it's due. For all the other issues I had with how they treated away fans, that stand itself where we were was probably the best stand in the ground. So pretty solid for that. You had a good view. I think deserve a lot of credit there. The other 2 stands, I didn't think the one to our left looked okay, but the one opposite us, I don't think looked too good. There were like poles everywhere, and I think they really need to renovate. Obviously, it is a bit of an eyesore to have an empty stand, but I'm not going to take too much off them for that, because they've obviously recognised they need to build a new stand. They had posters up explaining that they were building a new stand, and it was in a good area. It's like on a street, and then you just go down a side bit. It was nice to sort of walk through the countryside there, you know, have all the fields of the horses and stuff around. That was quite pleasant. But it worked well for like a lovely sunny day. But I think they're definitely do a lot of work to improve the stadium, and I think that's good. But again, going back to like what I said in the food and drink section, that area where you had the away fans socialising was just terrible. You can't drink in view of the game. So if you queue for 45 minutes to get a pint, and then you have to down that pint and head to your seat. And Luke went to get a drink, and he missed a decent amount of the game, including one of the goals. I like to get to my seat well before kickoff, but I ended up having to waste 45 minutes of my day queuing, and I was getting more and more stressed because I couldn't get to my seat. I just think that area was so bad. You really need to get more than just one tiny shed. And the shed was also facing away, so you couldn't even see what was available until you were right in front of it. You don't want to queue for 45 minutes only to find out it's not got what you need. So really, really poor. And the toilets were just terrible. There's one toilet that didn't flush. The lights didn't turn on. It was just a porta cabin from the Stone Ages where the paint was peeling. Just almost insulting how bad it was. The outside the stadium was really good, really well kept, and it's visually nice, kept well together with lick of paint and all that. I think there's a lot of work to be done on the inside, so it's good to see that there's work in progress, but there's some areas they really need to sort out. It's a bit inconsistent, but at least they're doing things about it. So I'll probably give the stadium a 4 out of 10. And finally, value for money. Ticket was 20 quid, can't complain too much about that. But only actually spent £4.60 in the ground because I just got bottles of water and a Coke. So 3 drinks for £4.60, I can't complain about that. I've seen grounds where 1 drink costs more than that, so that's pretty good. It's a shame because in the club shop we wanted to get a pin badge, but they'd sold out, which I thought was strange. You'd thought clubs have stocked up well on that. But For all the flaws of the stadium, I don't have too much complaints about the value for money. It wasn't ripping off too much, and all the prices in the food bit that I saw seemed quite reasonable. So it would be easy for them to say, oh, we're a Football League club, we're going to skyrocket our prices now. But I think they've been respectful to fans in that regard and not ripping anyone off. So credit where it's due, I'll give the value for money a 9 out of 10. So that was Bromley. The Football League season comes to an end, and a lovely way to celebrate Tomaldo's birthday. It's not the best ground I've been to, and like I said, it wouldn't be anywhere near the top of my recommendations. But nonetheless, it's really nice to see a new club in the Football League and do well, not just be there to make up the numbers. And I wish Bromley all the best for next season. Hopefully they can continue their stay in the Football League. Hopefully they can continue to improve their grounds. And if I do end up back there, hopefully it will be much improved. Not trying to hurt anyone or be mean by my comments. I just think there's a lot of work to be done, and I think if people are going to go out of their way and go on long journeys to a ground, then I think there's a lot of improvements that need to be done, because some of it was really, really poor. But there's definitely a lot of potential there. I could definitely see the positives in the club, so hopefully the future is bright for them, and wishing them all the best. Few games to go towards the end of the season. It's been a great one and a lovely sunny day to wrap up the EFL. If you'd like to support days out like this, you can check out my Patreon in the link below and support the channel for as little as £1 a month. Thank you all for watching. I've been AFC Finners. See you next time and stick with us as we go ground to ground. AFC Finners out.